is Isle of Jura taking over here inside the last furlong. Clear by 2.5 to Candleford Goliath. Middle Earth is running on. But Isle of Jura and Callum Shepherd have it sewn up as they run up towards the line. Isle of Jura wins the Hardwick Stakes.
Every week in the UK, there are around 200 horse races. These beautiful, majestic animals running around a track and galloping towards that finish line. But there is a darker side to it. With so many races spread throughout the day, this leads to so many opportunities for gambling. The main reason for the abuse that owners, jockeys and trainers receive on a daily basis.
It's 7 AM, we're here on Newmarket Gallops. I'm Callum Shepherd, just riding work for my principal trainer George Scott. Social media abuse is something myself and my colleagues have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, really.
Here at the Injured Jockey Fund building in Newmarket, jockeys can come to relax with things like wellbeing support and physio on offer, which Callum takes up regularly. So Callum, what does the majority of the abuse involve?
It can vary just from obviously people have probably lost money and aggressive sort of messages to threats and people wishing you physical harm and death. Frankly, like it's pretty crazy. It's just part and parcel of the job, really.
And how does it feel that you've had to harden yourself to it? Like it shouldn't happen,
no,
but it has to happen.
No, I suppose not. And that's the thing. I think I would look at it very differently if I had a child that was setting out and doing what they loved at the age of 16, 17, the age when most people are still in school, and they're having to deal with that. It's completely bizarre, and I'm sure it would upset me a lot. And I even know now that my parents, when they do come across these things, it would probably does upset them.
I asked Callum to show me a few examples of the types of messages that he gets.
Why ride a horse like that? Honestly, people spend money on you guys to do a job and you blow it by idiotic decisions. Absolute disgrace. What's the point in riding a horse like that? Useless. Useless. Want shooting, you useless fiddling. You are wank and you look like a tranny. Your poor mother made up with the abuse you're getting. Hope you get lynched, mate.
Another day and another sun shining over Newmarket. The horses are getting ready for another very busy day's racing. Today I'm going with Callum to Chelmsford City Racecourse to see the abuse that jockeys get in action.
So I've been riding horses from a very young age, probably 4 or 5, and I was fortunate to have access to them throughout my childhood and just fell in love with them. Decided probably from maybe 9 or 10 that I'd really like to be a jockey, and still that same passion has never left me, really.
In another busy day for Callum, he has 7 rides altogether. In the red and white checkered silks, he is riding Cozy Bello for trainer Charlie Fellows. In number 1, he is around 3rd favourite for the race. And he was a winner. Some quick interviews for Callum before going back to the weighing room and getting ready for the next.
Really, and he's made up a lot of ground very quickly, very strong through the line. He was probably fresher cantering back than he was going out.
Now, later on in the meeting, he was riding the well-punted A Major Pain, this time for trainer Michael Bell. He went off 2nd favourite, but could only come 2nd to last and finish down the field. Alice Haynes is a professional horse racing trainer, and in her short 4 years of training she's had plenty of success. She's recently moved into her new stables here in Kremlin Cottage in Newmarket, which is where I've come today to find out what level of abuse is hitting trainers.
As a trainer, sometimes you get emails, and normally it's social media based on sort of Twitter or X as it's called now. But yeah, you would get emails, and normally it's about either what a jockey's given, why would you give that person a ride, or sometimes it would be, why have you ran that horse over that trip. I know there was a case a couple of years ago. Holly took a member of staff took a horse to Chelmsford. I think he actually won, and there was a man calling a number of the horses that either got beat or won that day, talking about throwing acid and things like that. And there was actually a case, the BHA tried to build a case about it and try and find the information. But yeah, and that horse had won, and he was actually favourite. So, and God knows how they found Holly's number.
Well, back outside for the horses and back to work for Alice. With such a busy racing schedule, every horse has to be in top condition.
Flies. The flies. This is Popstar. He is a sprinter that we got off Aidan O'Brien's last year. He won 2 last year. He's now owned actually by our sponsors, Coral. Yeah, he's a fun horse. He's a gentle giant, and I'm sure after racing he'll go and have a life after racing. But yeah, no, he's still got a little bit of his winter coat, so hasn't quite come yet. In the summer he'll be like completely black, so we'll just keep trying to brush him to get the coat to come out. He's losing it slowly. The head is filthy.
So what are some of the worst messages that you've received, or the worst things that you've seen about yourself online?
I think some of the messages, emails, are more the fact that they're putting you down, not degrading, but putting you down, and makes you question yourself and some of the things that they say from wrong trips or whatnot. I know that some people have had their legs threatened to be broken, or families. I'm fortunate enough not to have been like that. But yeah, we're in the public eye and we're there to be shot at. But I think people need to think a little bit more and actually be nicer, because it's not very nice at all.
And as I've seen today, you and your staff work tirelessly on these horses. So how does it feel then to be told that you're doing it wrong?
Well, we're trying to do our best job, and sometimes the best isn't good enough, full stop, whether it's the horse isn't quite good enough or what we've done isn't quite good enough. It's not nice because the staff work hard, we work hard, we're going there. When after a race, if the horse doesn't win and run very well, I'm the most disheartened, never mind the owners. And then you go and look at Twitter, or you go and look at whatever, your emails, and you have someone then saying, putting you down again, and they're just keyboard warriors. At the end of the day, we're in a gambling sport, and they've probably lost £5 or £10. It's the people which the real true gamblers would never really get involved, I wouldn't say. But it's not very nice, and people need to sort of keep out of it.
Now back to Chelmsford after A Major Pain's disappointing run. So today here at Chelmsford, Callum's had a mixed day. He had 2 big price place horses as well as a winner. However, afterwards, one horse who was favourite had to be pulled out due to being unruly at the stalls, and he had another beaten favourite. So let's go and catch up with him and see if he did get any hate during the day.
Callum Shepherd, one woeful of a jockey. Well done, Callum. Possibly the biggest non-try of your career, you weasel. And Callum Shepherd wouldn't finish his dinner.
As we've proved today, jockeys can receive abuse for almost every ride they have. Others have spoken out about it too, including Saffie Osborne and John Joe O'Neill Jr., but Callum has said almost every jockey will have received these abusive messages. At the start of this journey, I contacted the police about the Malicious Communications Act, but couldn't narrow this information down to just horse racing. But of course, it isn't just limited to horse racing. A study by Loughborough University revealed that almost a third of social media posts after a sporting event contained abuse towards the athletes. Now, Callum is essentially freelance. He mainly rides for trainer George Scott, but can ride for other people as well. So when virtually every time he turns up to a racetrack and receives abuse, who is responsible for his welfare? Back in Newmarket and at the Bet365 Craven meeting, I'm meeting with Paul Struthers, Chief Executive of the Professional Jockeys Association.
It is definitely a big issue, and especially in a sport that's so closely linked to betting. And the fact that people regularly lose money on horse racing and on horses ridden by our members, that is often a trigger point for the abuse.
Would it be your responsibility to look after jockeys like Callum Shepherd? And if so, what do you actually do to make sure that happens?
Yeah, so we're responsible for all our members. Now, not every single professional jockey is a member of the PJA. We've got probably around 99% membership though, so it is our responsibility to educate them on social media, including how best to set up their social media accounts. We work with a former police officer to, again, support jockeys who have been subject to abuse. Now, some of that fair criticism and comment can often be unpleasant, but it's not illegal, it's not defamatory. Where that abuse oversteps those boundaries, he can step in and guide the jockey through the process. And what Sean's very, very good at, using his history and background as a police officer, is finding these individuals and being able to get in touch with them directly.
Even with support provided, there'll be jockeys that don't actually report the abuse to you. They might be suffering in silence. So what can you do or try to do to sort of stop it at the source? Is it just a case of sort of raising more public awareness about the effect that this abuse can have?
Stopping it at source is really hard because we're talking about multi-billion dollar/pound companies who are incredibly good at lobbying. We shouldn't underestimate the challenge, but I think the key message is to never give up, because we can't just shrug our shoulders and accept some of this abhorrent abuse. It's still going to happen, but we've still got to fight to stop it from happening in the first place.
Watching this, you may have never even thought about sending a nasty message to a sports person, but as I found out, plenty of people do it. So if you ever have, think about the consequences and what is it going to change?
Abuse via social media, it's become part of the job, and it's terrible really, but I think you just have to deal with it as best you can, and it won't stop me doing this job and loving what I do.